Hey, this is Chan from Difference in Skill, and I'm bringing you the Chaos tutorial that I promised way back when. Now, this tutorial will be in two parts because I cannot film myself playing myself. Playing against myself. Jeez. And, so the first part of this Chaos tutorial will be of, like, the mechanics and how things go. So, first of all, let's, take a quick glimpse back at the deck profile, kinda. So first of all, in your Chaos deck, you have a few things. You have character cards, which are a lot. Generally, you have a lot of character cards because, unlike other games, well, I don't know, you just tend to have a lot more. You have event cards, and you have set cards. Now, set cards will be similar to equipment in Magic, equip cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And whatnot. Event cards are spell cards, along with spells, or general spells in Magic, while character is like monsters and creatures in Magic. So, characters have different properties. Some have partner-only effects. Now, my Miharu here has partner-only effects. So, this means that it only works if it is your partner, basically. Now, why do some cards have partner effects? Well, this card has a partner effect and a non-partner effect. Her partner effect is that she negates 5 points of burn damage if she's your partner. If not, she doesn't gain that ability. Instead, she just has her defense draw ability, which is, shared between her partner form and her normal form. Now, these two are actually the same card. It's just that one is triple R and one is double R, so don't get fooled by that. So, aside from abilities, what else is important or relevant? Well, see the pink frame around the card? It might look kind of white. Actually, no, it's pretty pink. The pink frame states that this character is a female character, as if it wasn't obvious. Now, this character has a blue frame, stating that it is a male character. Now, this character has a gray frame, stating that it is an unknown gender. Now, what is important about Hideyoshi being an unknown gender? Well, first thing is, all Hideyoshi cards have the effect, this card's gender is treated as Kamashita Hideyoshi. So, yeah, that's kind of funny, but it's flavorful, I guess. But what is important about this? Well, some characters can only target certain genders. Now, that might seem very strange, but it is actually a mechanic in this game. Another copy of this card, I think I have one on me, but I don't know where to find it. I know I have one. Its effect is that when it declares its attack, you can rest one female character. So, in fact, having Hideyoshi as an unknown gender is actually quite useful. Although, technically, he's male, but don't worry about it, guys. Alright, so abilities. These are abilities. And now we move on to skills. Now, what is a skill? What's the difference between an ability and a skill? Well, a skill is something like guard draw. Like this card has the ability, when it guards, you get to draw a card. This card has a skill. Right? Yeah, this is a skill. It has penetrate. So, I'm actually not sure which one's which, but I'm just gonna go with the fact that they're different things. Yeah. So, abilities and skills. So, skill I would say is penetrate and like guard draw and whatnot, and abilities would be things like perfect guarding and partner abilities. So, her skill is penetrate. Her skill is guard draw. So, there's a few different ones. From the list, there is First Strike, which is as it sounds. Say this card grants First Strike, which means that I get to attack and deal combat damage before my opponent does. So that's First Strike. Penetrate is basically trample or piercing, where your attack deals the difference to your opponent. If say this were to be the issue where these two were attacking, since this card has penetrate, and this card doesn't have an anti-penetrate, which is they generally come in the form of event cards or character abilities, which is rare by any means. So if this card attacked this card for 10, this card, and I blocked with, like, you can't attack characters. You have to attack your opponent, and your opponent declares what they want to block with. So I attack with this, and I declare, my opponent, I guess, would declare blocker with his or her partner, and block for 6 for now, as you know, and activates her partner ability, which gives her 3 defense while blocking. Now that means my 10 attack to her 9 defense means that the player that I'm attacking would take a residual 1 damage. Now, okay, so let's move on to some more things. There's also first defense, which is kind of obvious, because first strike and first defense should be generally very simple things that you should understand. First defense would mean when you are blocking with that character, you deal combat damage before they do. So, if that wasn't obvious enough, there is reflect. Now, what is reflect? Reflect is penetrate on block. So let's say it's later in the game. All right. So let's use these 2 cards for example again. Say she lost her +4 attack because it's past a turn. If my character has reflect, this character, my Miharu, has reflect. If she attacks and I block, my attack will bleed through their defense. So with 2 defense and my 6 attack, I will deal 4 damage to my opponent. Even though my opponent is the one attacking me, I can deal damage back to him. This makes certain partners very strong and very scary, so that you don't actually want to attack them because of how strong they can get. Now, if your attack isn't going to kill their opponent right away, like with first strike, you will still take reflect damage, even if their partner were to be revert or flipped over, which in any case means unable to fight or dead, for now at least. Alright, and guard draw and attack draw. Like this character, she has guard draw, so when she blocks she gets to draw a card. And there's also cards with attack draw, which I don't run, but yeah. I don't actually have a lot of chaos cards with me, because I basically only bought singles, because in the games like this, it's not really worth it to invest on boxes, because you can't really sell it to other people unless they want to play back like your own, the set you're doing. Similar to Waste, but it's okay. So attack draw is a mandatory draw when you attack. Now this could be bad and good. Why is it bad? Remember, every time you draw a card, you're 1 step closer to dying. So now let's go over the mechanics of this game. I'm going to flip over my little piece of paper that I wrote all the things on. Alright, so here is my partner. You can choose any character to be your partner, really, because all characters have the second stat. So like this has 0, 1. So it means if you level up, you get 1 extra attack and 0 defense, which would make her a shitty partner. But generally, most good partners are 4-4-2-2, which means they have 4 base attack and defense, and they gain 2 stats per level. So it's a good scaling, but some partners are different. Some are like I think my Hideyoshi partner is 2-6. I think it's 2-6 that gains 1 attack and 2 defense, making it a big wall, but not very good on attack. So let's shuffle up the deck. Okay. So you start the game with your partner, and when you start the game, you draw 5 cards. 5. Now, if you want to mulligan, you have to mulligan your whole hand. There's no choosing. It goes back into your deck. So for whatever sake, I will say I want to mulligan. Now this hand isn't very good by far. Generally, you want to have at least 3 characters from my experience, because you want to make sure you fill up your field as quick as possible. Now, this hand is kind of okay. This opening with this card and this card means that you get a lot of rush options because of their effects and whatnot. But for instance, let's just say we wanted to mulligan, because I didn't want to keep that hand. One card, you generally want to start with a draw engine card, but since my partner is a draw engine, I don't really need to, but it is preferred. So something like the Shoko, or the Super Sun Hideyoshi Shistru card. But, you know. Alright, so let's shuffle in, draw some more new cards. Okay, now this hand is looking terrible. Okay, it's not really. Okay. Okay, there we go. This is a good hand. Now, I started with this, so that makes it a good hand. Alright, so then you do the rock, paper, scissors. Or rock, paper, scissors. Anyways, I can't actually move my arm that far over to make it look convincing that there's someone else here. Can I? Can I? No, not really. Because, like, my hand would be really distorted. Anyways, so, say you go first. If you go first, you draw for your turn. If you go second, you draw for your turn. Doesn't really matter too much. The player who's going first may not declare their attack, so, you know. But, in any case, that could be a good thing. No, it's not. It's just, you know, just what you do when you go first. So, you play a card from your hand. You can only play one character every turn unless it has a trespass ability, or unless you have an event that gives a certain card trespass, which is banned, because it's in Bakatas. So, let's say... Alright, so I guess I will play this card. Okay, this is my main phase. You have a main phase, and a battle phase, and an end phase. There's no main phase 2 bullcrap, because that is for pussies, my friend. Just like in Magic. Main phase 2 is for pussies. That's right. Okay, so say I play this. Entry cost is to flip this card over. Gasp! My partner is dead. But not for long. Now I enter battle phase, which I can't declare an attack, so I will end. Regardless of if you do want to declare battle or not, you still have to enter battle phase. And then you just go battle phase, no battles, oh crap. Battle phase, no battles, and let's move on with life. Alright, now I'm reaching my end phase step. Alright, end phase, I flip this card over. Once per turn during your end phase, you may return one card from their reverse state to their face up state. Not sure if this is called reverse. No, this is reversed. This is face down. It's very simply face down state to their face up state. And then, well, my opponent's turn goes, and I will explain the opponent's turn and how, you know, players interact with battle, because I can't really fight myself very much. But basically, I will be having a match with a friend. Oh, it's a bit sick again. I'm always sick. So, excuse me if I start sounding really weird and like this. But I don't have water with me, so gotta deal with it. I'm going to be playing a game of Chaos against my friend, and there'll be commentary to explain how the attacks worked and what not. So, alright. So moving on. Some character abilities can only be activated during your main phase. Some only activates during your battle phase, and some only activate during your end step, actually. So I will take out some cards as examples. Let's see. I know this doesn't actually have an active ability. And this. There you go. Just some characters. Get a +3. Yeah. +3 draw for turn. Alright, anyway. So this card's ability is that on my main phase, I get to draw an extra card. It's a mandatory effect, so I must draw. So, yeah. Just explaining stuff, I guess. Alright, passive abilities. This card grants my partner penetrate and +1 attack. This is a passive ability, so I don't have to activate it in any way. As long as she exists, she gets the bonus. Alright? So, let's move on to a card that's not a passive ability, an active ability, where when you play it, or a trigger ability, when you play it, you get to draw a card. Ooh. And you can send this card from, I'm not sure what this position is called, it's called ready. From ready to reverse, and you get to revive one character. So say this card died in battle, I can put this upside down and revive it. Like so. So, okay, so what about these abilities? Well, these abilities can all only be activated during your main phase. But, say like, oh, why would I want to activate on my battle phase anyways? Well, like if say your partner attacked and she died, you can like use this to revive her or whatnot. Or in your battle phase, if they decide to burn one of your cards to death with like burn damage, you can go, okay, so I'll reverse and revive it, which you can't. So, that is why I'm explaining. Now, lastly, we have battle events, or battle abilities, which is part of his or her ability, depending on what your tastes are. These abilities can only be activated, hence, during battle. This is what your field will look like. I think this is how the layout is. I think it's like this. Pretty sure the field is supposed to look like this, but I like to put it like this, just because it saves space. But it's supposed to look like a 5, I guess. You get to have 4 characters on your field and 1 partner. I have 4 friends and a partner characters. So, battle events. So, this card is a battle event, or effect, sorry, battle effect. Every time a card declares an attack, it gains +2 attack till the end of the turn. Now, this can only be activated during battle, basically because you need to attack. But my Miharu's ability also only activates during battle, where I can send one card to reverse and rest one of my opponent's cards, so it means put them like this, and then I get to draw a card. Now, not only can this be used offensively, it can also be used defensively to, make sure my opponent can't block with an important card, or maybe he has a card that's really strong and I don't want to run into it, so I could rest it. In my main phase, say if they threaten to kill my Miharu with a burn spell, I can't use her ability beforehand, so I can't say, okay, I'll rest your card. Well, no, you can't, because you're not in battle phase anymore. You're not battle phase yet. No, okay, so I guess I can't. So I run the risk of her, dying, which then I can use this to heal her back. Because they'll be burning me on my main phase. They'll be like, before you enter battle phase, and then they'll kill it. And if they do such a thing, well, then I can just say I go attack, and they say, before you enter battle phase. I'm like, okay, he burns it, okay. Well, then I'm still in main phase, because there's no step between the two. So yeah, that's generally how it works. So then it goes, and you can heal her. All right. So let's say attacks happen, blah blah blah. I use her effect, send to reverse, rest a card. All right, and then it goes end my battle phase. I'm going to end phase. You don't really tell people this. It's like when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't say attack battle step, damage step 1, damage step 2, damage step 3, all the way to 10, damage calculation, damage resolution, honest. And for anyone who knows what I'm talking about, you'll be like, yeah, I'm guessing you don't really do that. So this is the end of my battle step, and her ability will activate. It only activates at the end of the battle step. Neat, huh? That my deck has a lot of, good cards to use for explanation. At the end of my battle step, I can discard a card and destroy one set card. So that is what this card does at the end of the battle step. So let's see. So battle phase is over. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. All right. Now time to teach you guys how to attack. When you declare an attack, you have to turn your card sideways to the 90-degree position. This means that your character is attacking, and that it cannot be used to guard with, because you can only guard with cards if they're in the stand position or the ready position. To make sure, you have to be like this, unless you have the ability guard rest. I think that's what it's called, or guard in rest. I don't think it's an ability though. It might be. But that basically states that your character can guard while rested. So you attack with this, say blah blah blah, attack with this, and since my deck is lame, I don't actually attack with anything else, but just for, whatever's sake, I'll say I'm attacking with this one as well for 0, or 2 because I have Hideyoshi. Generally, you don't want to attack and run into things and die, because that's not actually a good thing to do. So say I'm attacking like this. Cool. And then I used her ability to rest something. And then I'm like, okay, battle phase ends. Actually, let's before that. When your partner attacks, you get to draw a card. It's not mandatory, but you get to do it. This is just, a way for you to have draw power when your, partner doesn't. But, it's kind of okay. So, I'll explain the damage calculating things in a bit when I'm playing against my friend. So, until then, stay tuned for more battle effects. Now we're going to the end phase. Okay, so, I guess if you guys didn't hear the first time in my deck profile, you take damage by milling cards off the top of your deck. So just in case if you guys didn't get the memo earlier, here, I'll show you. Say my opponent attacks me and I don't block. He attacks me for 2 power. This is what happens to me. Now you can only lose when you deck out, so I was hoping that I didn't have to explain this, but I realized I totally should, because like, you know, it is a tutorial. So when your opponent declares an attack, if their attack goes through your defense with penetrate, or if you just take it, you take damage off the top of your deck. Alright? So now let's say my opponent attacks me for 500. It's not possible, but what if they do? So I would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, look at that, my partner is here. And then you take your partner from your drop zone and then you put it underneath your partner. This is called a level cancel. So you level up your partner and cancel any remaining damage, so I won't take 5,000 and die. This is the only really sacky factor towards the game, except for the obvious, you need to draw the card you need. That's why this game is so sacky. Well, what kind of card game isn't like that? Please tell me. That's like chess, and chess isn't a card game last time I checked. So, yeah, that's the only way you get to really sack your opponents, by like, well, that definitely wasn't a sack. I mean, I took like 12 or 10 before I, canceled. Sometimes you take 1 and cancel, sometimes you don't. Here, I'll show you for a good example. Like, because often enough, you don't, it happens more often than not, or than it should, but like your partners are always like, there's like 2 here, and then like you end up losing because your partner's like level 2. And that's not good. So let's say, do I have a dice I can roll? No, fuck it. I'll just say I'm taking 15. Let's see if I cancel this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, cool, I canceled 2 damage. You see, this is not really a reliable source of canceling damage, but you know, if you're a good player, it totally just be like this. Oh, take 15. Oh, okay. No, go. And then like, well, that's unfortunate. Which is, really good. Speaking of leveling up, you have extras. Ooh, extras. An extra deck, or, whatnot. So, let's take a look at my extra deck for a second. You may notice that all of my extras have 2 people in them. Generally, extras do have 2 people, because they are fusion monsters, or synchro monsters. So that, there's no real term for in Magic, I guess. Is there? I think there is. There's like a bond thing where like, when 2 cards are bonded together, they get bonus effects. I don't remember what it's called. I know there's a bond effect in Magic, but it's not that similar. So, let's say I feel this back to normal. Alright, so let's see. Say I want this extra out. Well, look at my field. I have these 2. Cool. So I will then flip 1 over to take the place on my extra and send the other to the drop zone. And play it from my extra deck. So, yeah, what's so special about this? Well, this bypasses your 1 summon a turn because it doesn't count as a summon. It is an extra summon. Lol, just like in Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's a special summon or whatnot. And then say, I have another one of these in my hand. Oh, I want to level this up. Discard this 1 card in the picture, and then you get to stack on another one. Now, what's the point of doing this? Well, you get a bit stronger every time. Well, unfortunately for Baka Test, all your extras, the good ones at least, they only give 1 stat bonus per level, no matter what they are, as long as they're decent. So, unfortunately, the max I can get is 1 each time. So, okay, so what's so special about extras? Well, generally they have more power, a good ability. Say this card's ability is that, when I declare, when in my battle phase, in any battle phase, mine or theirs, I can discard 1 card from my hand and give 1 card guard and rest. Say I decided to attack with, I don't have many good attacking cards actually, so cool, that's good. Say I decide to attack with this last turn, and now it's in rest. Well, I can discard 1 card to make it be able to guard in rest position, which is quite useful because of cards like this, like my perfect guard. If I use this effect, it'll be like this. On my turn, it'll switch, and on my opponent's turn, I discard a card to make him guard again and send it back this way. So there's a lot of fun things that you can do in Chaos. Now, one thing is that if you have an extra on your field, if you one of these two characters and another character in your hand or field is in an extra card, say this card, you can easily enough flip over one of the stack. So if you only had one, well, you're flipping one. If you have two, then flip over your lowest one, send this to drop, and then play this one over top. So now it is a level 2 extra. Now, well, you just minus like 2 just now. Well, yeah. And say, like, you know, I have this card in my hand, and I'm like, okay, I want an extra with this too. So you flip this one over, and then you get your other one. So, generally you don't see a stack like this, because it's only because my deck, all the good extras need Himeji, and it's quite unfortunate actually, because I can only have one extra on my field per game, basically. Alright, so let's move on quickly through to the steps of the game. Say you're playing an average game, your field is like blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, boring shit, and here. Alright, so this is how your game will go. Main phase, do stuff. Battle phase, tap stuff. Attack, these are bad attackers. Okay. And then, no, let's not. Okay, and then, at the end phase, once per turn, you heal something. Say I attacked and he countered over me, making my card kill itself. Well, at the end of your turn, your partner stands regardless of what position it's in. And also at the end of your turn, you get to flip over one card. I know I made a script, but I'm actually not following it, so it's kind of all over the place. Yeah. What else? I made a rough script, but I really actually just didn't look at it for the whole time, because I'm not used to using a script. I'm always used to winging it. And that, you know, that's gotten me pretty far, in my opinion. Alright, so let's see, what else do I have to explain here? Blah 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 blah, blah 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 blah, blocking and stuff, blah blah blah, you get it? So, hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, part 1 I guess, to the Chaos tutorial. Hope you guys look forward to the part 2 of this tutorial, which, who knows when it will come, but hope you guys will, you know, enjoy it, because that guy always likes to dodge me. I'm looking at you. Okay, bye!